Greetings, beautiful people. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So focus on what is good, people. I have to always say that because it is never good to focus on the negative things. So I hope that everyone is having a good day. And I hope that if you are out there traveling about, you are protecting yourself and wearing your mask and using your hand sanitizer. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. And I just want to encourage you because I just want everyone to be safe. So please protect yourself and protect your family members. Well, Jaki Draper is here today, and we're going to talk about staying in the light. And I know staying in the light, when you hear that statement, that may mean different things to different people. So we're going to talk about what it means to us, staying in the light. And what is it like when you meet someone that has a different religious belief than you? What is it like when you meet somebody and they have a different belief? They have a different belief system. How do you approach the person, or how do you have a conversation with the person without getting into conflict? So, how you doing, Jaki?
Wonderful, wonderful. Having a beautiful day here.
Yeah, you are in sunny Florida, and what's the weather like there?
Well, we are in Florida. We have a rainy season during the summer, so it starts off beautiful every day, sunny, bright, hot, sweaty, and then around 4 or 5 o'clock we get a rainstorm. So we had our rainstorm, and now it's clearing back up again.
Yeah,
so,
wow.
Yeah. It likes to rain like the sky is gonna completely fall down on you, and then brightens right back up again.
Yeah. I always go hang out in Miami Beach, so I know what that's like.
Yes.
You could be walking down the street, and all of a sudden, boom!
Yes. And its lightning is very violent sometimes. You're like, oh my gosh, where did this come from? And then all of a sudden, another beautiful day arises right there. A couple hours later.
Yeah. California need that. California need that rain. California need that. Yeah. So, Jaki, what does staying in the light mean to you when you hear that statement? Stay in the light. What does that mean to you? Because earlier today we were talking about a couple things pertaining to how what it's like to have conversations with people of different beliefs, and just what does staying in the light mean? So what does it mean to you?
To me, when I hear the term staying in the light, it means staying in your truth, staying true to yourself and who you are, and being honest. And I think of it like when you're under the spotlight, when you're in the light, everyone can see you. Is this the person that you want people to see? When you're standing in the shadows, you might be being a person you don't want people to see. And that's why you're in the shadows. So when you're in the light, you're there, everyone can see you. Are you a good example? Are you being true to yourself? Are you having good character? Are you making good choices? When you're staying in the light, you are, you're in your purpose.
I like that because I also believe the same thing. I believe that, staying in the light means everything that has to do with purpose and humanity, because I believe that God is light. And when we choose to stay in the light, as you said, Jaki, making the right choices has everything to do with staying in the light. People make different choices every day pertaining to good and evil. We both know that. And being honest, people make choices sometimes that has to do with darkness. Let's be real, right? So when you think about that, darkness, what comes to your mind when you think about that, darkness, making a choice that pertains to darkness?
Well, again, when we're comparing it to light, being in the light, being in the shadows, what are the choices that you make that you feel most comfortable making these choices in the shadows? These are the choices that you don't want your friends to know about. You don't want your family to know about. You don't even want to admit them to yourself.
Oh, Lord.
These are dark choices.
Yeah.
We're staying in the shadows. We don't want anybody to know this. I'm making these poor choices, this bad behavior, whatever the case may be. And we think that we're under some cloak of shadow when we all know that God or whomever, we're talking about different religions, whatever, I feel like we all believe that there's one God and there's just different roads to get there. But that one God can see everything. It doesn't matter if you're hiding in the shadow. He knows what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And if you are, in the Christian terms, you call it a child of God. If you're a person of God, you're part of God's light, you're part of who he is, then you know when you're making these bad choices. You're not hiding from anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Staying in the light has everything to do with how you think, how you treat people, and your intentions in the secret places. Because Jackie, you mentioned something about, those choices that people sometimes don't know about. Well, that place in the shadows, that secret place, that's a place where you really have to make the right choices to stay in the light. Because staying in the light has everything to do with staying close to God. I believe that. I believe that staying in the light also has to do with whether or not you're going to choose to build upon virtue. I mean, the virtues of life are love, patience, self-control, everything that pertains to how you treat people, how you live your life. We can never judge the next person, according to what they believe and what they don't believe. But you can make sure that you be an example to the next person. So, Jackie, what do you do when you meet people that have different beliefs than you?
Well, I like to think that I'm a extremely open-minded and accepting person. And I feel that when someone has a different belief system than I do, I'm more curious about it. I enjoy people. I want to know, where did you come up with this? Why do you believe this? What were you taught? Teach me something. I'm a teachable person. I don't know everything. I want to know more things. Tell me about it. Maybe there's something here for me. So when I meet people that have different viewpoints than me, I want to hear about it. I don't try to change anybody's mind. I'm looking to change my own, maybe, depending on what it is.
Yeah. I'm a woman of faith, and I believe in Jesus Christ. I just believe, totally in Jesus Christ. I mean, like, I'm a Jesus shaker. I like to shake things up with Jesus. I'm just keeping it real by saying that,
Right.
I believe and will accept all people for what they believe, but I personally believe in Jesus. I believe in everything he said. I believe in everything he did at the cross. I believe in why he came to the world. And I just believe that, as we were talking about earlier, staying in the light, is a choice to follow principles too. We were talking about the example that Jesus set when he walked on the earth as a man. We were talking about earlier today. We were talking about the Bible and some of the things we believe and some of the things that are kind of misconstrued in the Bible. But overall, we know that Jesus is who he is, and staying in the light has everything to do with, accepting people for who they are. If a person doesn't believe what you believe, it doesn't mean that they are your enemy. It just simply means there's a difference, and you still can have a conversation without conflict or debate. Sometimes, Jackie, I've witnessed people just telling other people, you're going to go to hell, things like that. I don't believe,
you don't believe the same.
Yeah, I don't believe in telling people things like that. I believe that God accepts all people. I believe that God is merciful, and I also believe that when we meet people of different beliefs, it's an opportunity, like you said, to share information. And I just don't think we should condemn people. I think when we give people an opportunity to share their beliefs, if we extend love to them, they'll extend love to us. But if we just shut them out and condemn them, that's not cool, right?
Absolutely. We have all of our points of view and belief system is based on what we've been exposed to in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
If someone from India is Hindu,
Mm-hmm.
I've never been exposed to the Hindu religion. I know very little about it, what I've seen in movies or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically nothing,
Mm-hmm.
nothing of real substance.
Right.
So if I were to meet someone that is Hindu and I'm under the impression, I don't want to misspeak on what they believe,
Mm-hmm.
but their belief system on the afterlife is different than ours as Christians or
Mm-hmm.
other faiths.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe. I would be very interested in finding out everything that they do believe, but I feel that the bottom line is, at the end of the day, when we die,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to different heavens. We're going to the same place.
Yeah.
Just because that's what they believe is what's going to happen in the afterlife, and this is what I believe
Mm-hmm.
in the afterlife, maybe we're both right, maybe we're both wrong, but we're all going to the same place.
Yeah.
All the good people, the people in the light, the people that,
Yeah.
whatever the standard is that has been set for the next level.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your religion is.
Yeah.
I don't think that your standard religion here on earth is going to categorize you on the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that we're all
character is what's going to categorize you.
Yeah, I believe that we're all extensions of love. I think that, God is love, and I believe that He knows what we know as individuals. He has extended His love toward us all. I don't care what we believe. God loves us all. I just believe that. But I think that when you meet someone that has a different belief system than you have to accept that person for who they are and learn something about them. And in exchange, guess what? There can be a change. There could be a change in your life, and there could be a change in their life. But we should never condemn anybody. But most importantly, we should have a focus on staying in the light. And as I said earlier, staying in the light has everything to do with how you treat people. As Jackie stated, the choices you make and just the things that you do that are intentional every day in your life, staying in the light. We all fall short of different things every single day. None of us is perfect, but we can be accountable and reverse some of our choices by doing the right things. We can make up and progress to do better when we recognize the things that we should do. But staying in the light has everything to do with, how you think, how you treat people, the choices you make, and extending yourself to people that may not believe in the same thing that you believe. You can't be around or meet someone, and if they don't believe what you believe, condemn them and have a stiff upper lip, so to speak. You can't do that. Being a Christian, sometimes, people say things that I believe is just wrong. Like I said earlier, telling somebody they're going to go to hell or just speaking down towards someone. I just believe that God is interested in giving everyone an opportunity to learn more about love. I believe that God wants everyone to learn more about grace, more about hope, because we need hope. We were talking earlier, Jackie, about categories, how man puts, people in categories. And I was saying to you that God is looking at humanity, and under that word humanity, there is no category, right?
Right. There is no black, white, yellow. There's no United States. There's no England.
That's right.
We're all part of Earth. We're all human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think as we have evolved as human beings in all these years that we would be closer to that.
Mm-hmm.
But as you and I were talking earlier, it feels like we're drifting further away from the unity.
Mm-hmm.
We are, instead of embracing our differences and learning from each other, we are pushing each other away because of our differences.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a super sad state that we're in.
It really is. It really, really is. And that's why, we wanted to talk about this topic, staying in the light, because as individuals, we have a choice to stay in the light according to how we treat people, how we speak to one another, how we perceive one another, and the things that you choose to do in secret. Stay in the light. I mean, just think about that statement for a second. Stay in the light. I mean, I'm not talking about walking around trying to be, this person that you're not, being fake about everything. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuinely in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit. Staying in the light according to how you treat people, how you think. Stay in the light. If more people, check this out. If more people, Jackie, if more people were to learn from one another, I believe ignorance wouldn't exist. What'd you say?
I think that that's a little bit of a stretch statement.
I believe the reason why I say that is because I believe that God has placed something in all of us so much, so something so strong, that I believe that every race, every type of person, every culture, if people had an open mind to learn and exchange from one another, I'm talking about people of all ages and all backgrounds. If people were open-minded to just exchange every single day of their life, I believe it would just eliminate ignorance. So that's where I'm speaking from.
It would, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can support the eliminate word. That seems a little bit drastic. However, we live in an amazing time where we have the ability to connect with people everywhere, literally, the entire world.
Yeah.
There is no 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We're 1 degree away from everybody.
Right.
We are 1 degree away from everyone. Mm-hmm. And we do not use that for good. We do not use that in the light. We use that for bad. We get online and say mean things about other people. Mm-hmm. We want everyone to be just like us. I'm not saying me personally. I'm saying this is the view of what I see in the news and on the internet. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants you to you got to think exactly like they do, or you're the devil. There's something wrong with you if you don't think exactly like me. And how is that acceptance? How is that coexistence? What is love and peace about that? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
We're in a unique state where I met you online.
Yes.
We belong to a business professionals group.
Yes, we
and
do.
We connected, and we have formed a great friendship.
Yes, we do.
And I've met other people online from different organizations that I belong to, and I think it's a wonderful world. But it's people are just blocking themselves into this one little world, this one little space, where if you don't think like me, then we can't be friends, and you don't look like me, and you don't believe what I believe, and it's so sad because we're in such 100 years ago, 200 years ago, that was the norm because you didn't have access. There weren't, cars and stuff to get you other places. Then cars came, you moved around, met people. Well, now we have the internet. You don't even have to leave to meet people that are different than you.
Right.
You can meet them right there, right from your home or your office, your phone, your car, anywhere.
Yes.
And it's just not being utilized properly.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's why people have to be encouraged and inspired to stay in the light. Staying in the light is hope. Staying in the light is peace. Staying in the light is unity. Staying in the light is embracing humanity. Staying in the light is absolute love. Because in the light, guess what? You will see. Do you like walking around in the dark? I don't. Do you like walking around in the dark, Jackie?
Absolutely not.
Right.
I like the windows open. I like the light.
Yes. So, so stay in the light, people, because in the light, you can see, you can hear, and you can understand when you stay in the light. So stay in the light. I cannot emphasize that enough, because when you choose to walk in the dark, when you choose to make the wrong choices, how you treat people, how you speak to people, and the way you think, when you choose to stay in a place of darkness, guess what? You can't see it. You can't see in the dark. You can't see. So stay in the light. Stay in the light so that you can see. Stay in the light so that you can hear. Stay in the light so that you can understand what you need to understand. Sometimes people are just walking around having dark thoughts. A dark thought can be, I don't like her. I don't like him. He gets on my nerve. You never even met the person. You never even had a conversation. But from a distance, you see this person and you just say, I don't like him. I just don't like him. Or I don't like her because she's black. Or I don't like him because he's Hispanic. Or I don't like her because she's Asian. That's a dark thought.
Right.
That's a dark thought. So, but when you stand,
and it's limiting. You're limiting yourself.
Yeah, and it creates barriers. But when you are in the light, what happens is you open up your mind, you open up your heart, you open up your spirit to receive something different. You open up your spirit to learn something different, and it's a blessing to just simply stay in the light. So Jackie, have you been around people that, without judging, you wasn't judging or anything like that, but have you been around people where you felt like it was, it was something dark and it made you feel uncomfortable, or how did you deal with that?
Oh,
like a dark spirit, or it was just dark, so to speak?
Well, I don't know that I've had people that give me the creeps. They think like you just get like a weird feeling about
that's
them,
dark. Yeah,
that's pretty dark. But
yeah, unfortunately,
just general ordinary people that having what we're talking about, not being in the light type of dark. Mm-hmm. I'm open-minded and optimistic, and I like to see the good in everything. And recently, a football player that used to play for Tampa Bay, and now he plays for the Raiders. He used to play for the Buccaneers. He came out as homosexual.
Okay.
And I thought, when I read the article, I was like, wow, I'm just so proud of this person. How much courage it must have taken them to do this.
Right.
Because especially in football, that's a man's man sport.
It is.
And, it's not something that he's got to be comfortable coming out doing. And good for him. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. He's a Buccaneer. Once Buccaneer, always Buccaneer.
Right.
I made a post about it, how happy I was on Facebook. Now, me as a person who sees the good in everybody, I don't pay much attention, I guess, to the negative parts of people. I'm assuming that my people, that my friends are like me, that they're going to be like, click like and be happy for this young man.
Right.
And I started seeing some negative comments on my Facebook post.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Wow.
And from people that I wasn't expecting it from.
Wow.
And I found myself in a position then where I was like, and of course it really struck me the wrong way, because I was surprised that why would anybody begrudge anyone their happiness?
Right.
What is wrong with you that you are upset or disappointed, or you need to make a comment, a negative comment,
right,
about somebody else's happiness,
mm-hmm.
that just threw me for a loop, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And then second of all, what the second thing that threw me for the loop was how I felt about it. The fact that I was feeling judgmental against the people that were feeling judgmental. So I was like, I'd check myself that, you know, just as this young man is entitled to be gay and announce it and live his life openly, these people are entitled to state their opinions.
Yes, they are. They are.
And I am not entitled to be upset that they don't think like me.
Yeah, I think that it's okay for people to, you know, talk about how they feel about something they disagree with. But see, there's a way to do it without being malicious. And so when it goes into malice, now that's darkness. You see?
Right.
Because there's a difference there. So if you are experiencing something and you don't like it, it's okay to say, hey, you know, I don't like this, or you're in an environment, or if you see somebody doing something you disagree with, okay, that's fine. You can, you know, express how you feel about it. But if you approach it with malice or hatred or something that's going to hurt the next person, that is darkness.
Right.
Because when we speak something maliciously against someone without first showing them some level of compassion or love, guess what? That's darkness. That's darkness. Because we, as individuals, we should accept people for who they are. What people do in their personal lives, in their bedroom, that's nobody's business. That's between them and God. But this man decided to come out and do what he did, the way he did. Like you said, he was courageous to do so. I agree. He was courageous to do so. But at the same time, nobody has the right to judge him. We all have a responsibility to accept people for who they are. I don't care where they come from or who they are. And the minute we stop accepting people for who they are, the minute we start pointing our fingers and judging them and condemning them in a way as if they don't deserve to be loved, guess what? That's darkness. So that's what I'm talking about. Darkness has everything to do with just doing everything outside of the light. And light has everything to do with the virtues of humanity. So, like I said, staying in the light has everything to do with how you think, how you treat people, how you speak, and the choices that you make daily. Right. You know, none of us is perfect, but you can be conscious every single day to tell yourself to stay in the light. Stay in the light according to how you think. Stay in the light according to how you treat people. Stay in the light according to how you speak, because staying in the light has everything to do with the feeling of just absolute love. You know?
And the beautiful thing about the light, the beautiful thing about it is that if you go into the darkness, you can always come back to the light. It's always there for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because God doesn't give up on us. He doesn't give up on us. And that's the most important thing you have to remember, is that when you fall short, yes, get back on track. No matter what it is, make sure you get back on track, because staying in the light, you can see in the light, you can hear in the light, and you will have understanding in the light. Because guess what? You people, us, all of us, we cannot see in the dark. So stay in the light. So Jackie, you have anything else you want to share?
That was a pretty deep conversation.
Well, you know, I just really hope that what we're saying, I hope that somebody will just really think, because when we wake up in the morning, we all wake up with God looking right at us. And it's an opportunity to just try to do something better. Every day we wake up, it's an opportunity to try to do something better. We all have faults. We all have different areas of our lives that we're working on. But that does not mean we should just do anything any kind of way. We should be conscientious to just stay in the light. I truly believe that. You know, I just believe that it's a practice because it feels good when you look at the ocean and you look at the sky and the trees. Look at the beauty of nature and everything God has created for us. That's light.
Right.
Think about
I always
that.
called it standing in the sun, but yeah, you're standing in the light.
Yes.
I equated it to standing in the sun, maybe because I live in Florida and it's sunny here so much. But you're just out in the open where everyone can see you. You are your true self.
Yes.
And who is this true self that you want people to see?
Yes. Yes.
Be that person.
Be that person, because light is God and God is love. So we have to stay in the light. So listeners, I thank you for tuning in to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. And Jackie, thank you once again for joining me on this episode. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, we got to get ready. We have a guest coming up next week. His name is Daniel Jackson, and he's a spiritual medium. And so we got to get ready for that. What you say?
I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I believe in Jesus, but I would like to grant this gentleman an opportunity to just share some information, and I want to see where he's coming from, and he's going to know where I'm coming from too. So, looking forward to it. So listeners, thank you again for listening to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sbfavor. Also have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel, click like, and leave me some feedback. Also, please share the podcast with others. I appreciate that. And if you would like to donate to the podcast, you can donate at Cash App, $SB I appreciate you, listeners. I thank you so much for tuning in, and you have a good day.